Good afternoon, you all, and welcome to the Raging Hot Mic podcast. Today, we'll be discussing the recent visit of the former Vice President of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, to the Abuja residence of the former President of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. It's not new for politicians to visit each other in their houses, and we are not privy to whatever was discussed at that very meeting. But the reason why it's generating buzz and the reason why everybody's talking about it is because of nothing else but the next election. Now, for you to understand more about it, you need to have more context or know what happened in the past. First of all, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was a vice president when democracy returned to Nigeria in 1999. He was very powerful. It could be said he was the most powerful vice president Nigeria has ever had. Now, he headed so many agencies. When he was vice president to President Olusegun Obasanjo, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was the chairman, National Economic Council, chairman, National Council on Privatization, chairman, National Planning Commission, chairman, National Boundary Commission. At the end of the presidency of Obasanjo, he left the PDP and then decamped to the Action Congress and contested against Umaru Musa Yar'Adua and lost the election. Now, for more context, the PDP from the 1999 wasn't a northern party. It was more of a southern party because Obasanjo won his first election with votes from the southeast and mostly south-south and the north-central. The northern party was more of the APP, then APP. That was the northern party. So the PDP didn't have much northerners in it. It had some Abubakarimi, I think Abubakarimi and then Solomon La. Those were the two northern gladiators before the coming of Alhaji Abubakar, who was the vice president. So Alhaji Abubakar was very, very influential in the PDP. He was extremely powerful. Now, when Goodluck Jonathan assumed office after the death of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan spent 4 years in power, or 2 years, finished the term of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, the 2 years for Yar'Adua, and then started his own 4 years. Towards the end of his 4 years, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and some northern elements decamped from the PDP. And this was the first miscalculation of Atiku. Why was it a miscalculation? It was a miscalculation because at that time, apart from the vice president, who was Nemadi Sambo, he was a former governor of Kaduna State, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was the highest ranking northern leader in PDP. Yeah, he is so powerful. This is the reason why every primary he contests in the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar always wins. Once he's in the PDP. He's a man of so much resources. But the problem with Atiku is that he often miscalculates so many times. He is often found wanting, miscalculating. What was the first miscalculation now? Now Atiku is presumed to have met Jonathan in order to let him support him for the next election coming up. Now the reason why it might be a little too late is because the same Atiku actively worked against Jonathan. And this is the statement Jonathan made soon after leaving office. Politics in the Nigerian standard is about betrayals. I witnessed a lot of betrayal during the 2015 election, which Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was part and parcel of those that did it. Now, him leaving, because you can say that even after leaving office, Atiku has contested 3 presidential elections. Contested in 2007, contested in 2019, he contested in 2023. Now, while Jonathan was the president, Jonathan had 4 more years to serve, which according to would have been the turn of the South. All Alhaji Atiku Abubakar should have done was to be patient till the end of the reign of Jonathan. He wasn't patient. He was so impatient. He wanted power by force. He wanted power immediately. And he miscalculated. Because if Jonathan had served his 4 years, he would have left the scene for him to maybe contest with Namadi Sambo. And we all know that one of the mistakes Jonathan might have made was picking Namadi Sambo as his vice presidential candidate or vice president. Because back then, even during the 2015 election, Sambo couldn't win his state for Jonathan. Jonathan lost Kaduna State. Sambo could not even deliver his state. Then what was the need of having him in the ticket? He was a governor, yes, but in northern politics, he was a featherweight. There is no way he's a match for Atiku. Because even in finances, Atiku finds his way, and Atiku always has a way of getting it done when it comes to primary elections. So what did he do? Atiku was already cemented in the PDP. Now he left the PDP for another party that he wasn't so strong. Was he deceived? Was he confused? We don't know. Maybe hindsight makes it clear. He decamped from the PDP and went over to the Action Congress, where he was lured by some northern elements, the likes of Buhari, El Rufai, Bukola Saraki, and then Tambuwa. They all didn't decamp, but some of them all decamped to the APC, where a primary was held. And we all know, even before the election, that the prime frontrunner was Muhammad Buhari. Atiku Abubakar fell into that trap. He felt he was going to win. The primary was done in Lagos, which is the stronghold of the present president, Bola Ahmed TINUBU. So he decamped from a party where he had a huge stronghold to a party where he had no footing. He was powerless simply because he wanted power at that moment. He wasn't patient. When he went to the ACN, to the APC, that it was formerly ACN, when he went to the APC, what happened? He contested against Buhari and he did not stand a chance with Buhari. Because you can see right now that even in the north, we are still looking for somebody to succeed Buhari in the north. You can criticize Buhari all you care, you can say all sorts of things, but in the north, he has a cult following, or he had a cult following, of which is rare. Reasons they only know. He might be disliked in the south, he hardly wins in the south, which is the opposite of Atiku. Because Atiku is the only northerner that consistently gets it done in the south. One many southern states. Now, he's trying to align or realign, maybe with Jonathan, but I think he's coming too late. We've had his chance because he's always impatient, extremely impatient. Atiku, he wants it at the moment, and he doesn't always calculate. Because we all know that up to this moment, presidency is rotational in Nigeria. It rotates along the north and the south, not along the 6 geopolitical regions. No, north and south. The reason why he jumped ship in 2015, only him can tell. Because he felt he could get the ticket. Soon after joining APC, President Muhammad Buhari won the primary election and won the general election, and he was sidelined because he made this statement: "I was sidelined." Soon after the APC won the election, he was kicked out. Not really kicked out of the party, but he was ignored. He didn't have any input. He was just there. So now maybe he has realized his mistake, and maybe he's trying to correct the mistake. But it's as good as saying that it's all late right now, because even President TINUBU, who is serving his first tenure, is likely, and we all know he's going to go for his second tenure. When he was the turn for the South, or of the South, in the last election, Atiku contested again. The reason I don't know. And this is one of the things that have destroyed the party, PDP today, because he was backed in 2019 by the South, by everybody, and against all odds, he cleaned the ticket. The primary that was done in Port Harcourt, hosted by Nyesom Wike, who was the then governor of Rivers State, hoping that Senator Aminu Tambuwa was going to claim the ticket in order maybe to pick him as a vice president. But Atiku claimed the ticket at that very convention, and he was backed. At the end of the general elections, he won 17 states. He won in Sokoto, he won in Yobe, he won in Oyo, he won in Ondo, he won in Enugu, he won in several states, which is a huge chunk of votes. He is the only politician that has won every election if you calculate all his victories from all geopolitical zones. Yet he has never been president. Is it too late? I don't know. But at this age, at this moment, I think it's better for him to bow out when the ovation is loudest, because he's ever present. And I don't know what else is going to tell people to convince them to vote for him, because many people perceive him to be part of the problem or part of the system. So even if the former President Jonathan forgives him, which they didn't make public what they discussed, it's going to be difficult to convince troops to vote for him, because we all know President Bola Ahmed TINUBU is going to win the southwest, and many parts of the north. So where's Atiku's vote coming from? On which platform? On the ADC, the party that is an extension of the aggrieved PDP and APC members, the same politicians who were in the other party or the other parties and told us it was a new party, have manufactured another party or gone to join another party. All of a sudden they become the messiah or the saviors. I don't see any way for Atiku next election. I don't see any way for him. 2027 election, except he just wants to spend his money. Because even the goodwill we enjoyed back in the Southeast is little or non-existent again. Especially with his tweeting and deleting of the tweet after the killing of lynching of Deborah in Niger State, where he condemned the incident or condemned the action and then immediately deleted it. Maybe because some northern elements told him that they weren't going to vote for him. So that still leaves a sour taste in the mouth of so many people. So I think it's high time that maybe he just retires. Because back in 2015, it's very, very clear that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was more strategic because Tinubu was playing the long game. He supported Buhari and he was patient for Buhari to finish his 4 years. He was extremely patient. Certain decisions didn't favor him, especially towards the end of Buhari's regime. Changing of dollars or changing of naira, currency change, so many things. But he publicly always claimed that him and the president, then president, were agreed and they were on the same page because he was plotting for his election in 2023. Surprisingly, Atiku Abubakar didn't see that, because if he saw that, he wouldn't have joined camp with them. He wouldn't have joined their camp. He wouldn't have joined their party to wreck the PDP, a party where he had a stronghold. He became a political orphan at the APC, and he soon realized he was isolated. Then he ran back to the PDP, and each time maybe the election doesn't go his way, he changes party. I don't think the visiting of Jonathan, or I think that ship has sailed. I don't see any comeback for him, especially with the power of incumbency, and then with P2B also interested, with the youth supporting or adoring P2B. I don't see a way back for him, or I don't see any way for him, not even back. The best thing for him is maybe to pick a successor and then just support somebody else, because at his age, he's aging fast and he's not any younger. That moment has sailed. He miscalculated. So whoever he wants to visit, wherever he wants to go, if he wants to tour the whole world, he can do that. But we all know that he stood a strong chance of clinching the ticket if he was patient for Jonathan to complete his tenure, because by then he would have gone back to the north. And if he was on the ticket of the PDP after the end of Jonathan's tenure, it must have been more difficult for President Buhari to defeat him as of then. Because even as popular as Buhari is, there are some states Atiku always won. He's always won Sokoto, he's always won Gombe, he's always won Yobe, always won his home state of Adamawa, always won Taraba. So also having been a candidate of a ruling party, it would have been nearly impossible to lose to Muhammad Buhari. So I don't see a way for him. I don't. But in politics, never say never. If you are watching me, please smash the like button, like, follow, drop your comments. Thanks, and see you next time. Remain blessed.